Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Channel Dad Bryon Lape Reads. And here we have from cbc.ca. So something from our friends up there in Canada. There's a reason we procrastinate, and it's not laziness. And this is actually something I've been holding on for almost 2 weeks. So I procrastinated on reading something on procrastination. So isn't that funny? Charles Dickens called procrastination the thief of time. Mark Twain, on the other hand, advised never put off tomorrow what would be done today and the day after tomorrow. That may be done. What? Not off tomorrow. What may be done the day after tomorrow. Okay. See, I read that even wrong. Procrastination, the nefarious practice of deferring, delaying, and postponing, is something we all do in a moment. We decide to put off a task for tomorrow. The relief is overwhelming. It feels like cutting class on a sunny day. But the next day, that dreaded task looms and feels more insurmountable. Yep. According to conventional wisdom, procrastination is a simple matter of bad time management and weak self-esteem. And that's what I've been, self-control, been told for 30 years, and it's baloney. Because I don't know how many time management things I have gone through, and then none of them work for me. Not a single one of them. Tim Pychyl, I guess that's him right there. Pychyl, I don't know. Or Boschel, I guess. I don't know. He's an associate professor of psychology at Carleton University challenges that assumption. We believe that it was poor time management and that it was just worked a bit harder, a bit more self-discipline, you could do the job. But it doesn't seem to be that at all. Yeah, I would say that. So Pychyl specializes in studying the root causes of procrastination. Has written a book called, I'll get to it later. Solving the Procrastination Puzzle, a concise guide to strategies for change. Here are some highlights. Why we feel so guilty about it. What research has indicated across a wide range of studies is that an emotional regulation. What? Is that it is an emotion regulation situation. Boy, a lot of shuns there. What's the song of the procrastinator? I don't know. Don't want to. Well, I don't want it. I don't feel like it. Don't want to. I don't feel like it. I'll feel like more tomorrow. And there's people leading on, oh my God, he can't read a freaking article. He can't even read an article. He can't read one sentence. It's about our feelings. And it's not just a matter of buckling down and getting it done. There are negative emotions associated with doing a set task, and we know how to get rid of them. Avoid the task. Yeah, that's when it can be avoided. And here's the thing, too, that I'll add my own experience. And then when it's avoided for too long and it becomes something that can no longer be avoided, that emotion is so overwhelming that you would think the next time around you'd do it sooner, but it becomes even stronger to put it off, which is very odd. You can avoid the negative emotions for doing the time being by procrastinating, and that's. But then there's always tomorrow. It's not just a matter of buckling. Okay, this is what we already said. How the pandemic is making it worse. Randy Pausch, of course, everything's got to be blamed on the Fauci virus. A MIT professor who died of cancer talked about this in his final lecture, which was about time. Why does it matter he died of cancer? The late Randy Pausch. That's all we have to say. The late MIT professor Randy Pausch. That's it. Talked about how time is the only thing that's non-renewable in our lives, and we don't know how much of it we're going to get. I think that's why in every major world religion there's this notion of sloth as a sin. I can see why wasting time is deeply held as a sin, and that's not only as a religious expression but as an existential one in terms of this is my life, I need to get on with it. So often that's what makes procrastination so interesting. So in there, nothing on how the pandemic made it worse. It's in there again. I wonder if I've got. I know I'm in my browser with ad blockers, and I wonder if that's what's going on. We are in a time of uncertainty, worry, and anxiety. Are dominating us emotionally. In a time when, see, it really helps when you read all the words. We are inevitably going to end up delaying things, but if we only have one word for that delay, which is procrastination, we end up beating ourselves for it, up for it. That should be over it. I would agree that yes, many things are being delayed, but we need a lot of self-compassion. Is there going to be anything in this article worth reading? There are a lot of people right now trying to give people a license to procrastinate. When I see things like, no, we need to find things to better cope, not give license to delay things. What a privilege it is to be able to work from home and continue to have an income. So I would never say that it's okay not to do your best work. There are people that are desperate for jobs and they don't have them. How we so at some point, I'm hoping this article makes a point, because it hasn't yet. Other than telling us it's emotional. I know that. How do I overcome it? Things like mindfulness and meditation work in the long term, but if you've ever tried to do some mindfulness meditation, realize you're not very good at it. You're usually thinking about the next thing you should be doing or how uncomfortable you are. I fall asleep, actually. I have another suggestion that's really life-changing. Okay, finally. And people could do now if they wanted. I have another suggestion that's really life-changing and people could do now if they wanted. That's an introductory phrase. In my book, Is This Procrastination Puzzle? I write a chapter titled Just Get Started. I had people write back to me and say, Dr. Pychyl, now you've been studying this for how many years and what have you come up with? Just get started. If I could just get started, then I wouldn't have a conversation problem. I thought, fair enough. Why does this go back and forth between first and third person? Here's the magic. The next time you face a task that your whole body is screaming, I don't want to, I don't feel like it, ask yourself, what's the next action? What's the next action I need to take to make some progress? Don't break the whole task down. They will be sure to overwhelm you. Yep. I think it's most of us broke our task. If most of us broke our whole task down to realize that life's too short, you can never get all of it done. And there I added a word, never get it all done. See, this is a problem when these articles are written so poorly. Instead, just say, what's the next? Okay, keep that action as small and as concentrated as possible. As small and concentrated. You don't need a second half. Man, the grammar in this is horrible too. Maybe it's different in Canada. All right, let's look at some comments. There's a lot to say about sleep on it. Please check your info and correct. He was professor of computer science, human-computer interactive, and design at Carnegie Mellon University. The last lecture. Okay. There's another form of procrastination. Work on a creative project. I delay and procrastinate. Why? During the gap of hesitation, I get more insight as my intuition comes up with the missing pieces of the puzzle. Yes. And there's a guy who's done a whole TEDx on procrastination when he ended up writing a thesis in like 2 days that was supposed to work on all semester. It was one of the best that he had ever seen at whatever college. So, this is from the Sunday edition. Yeah, this is a really poorly written article. And because it starts off and then it says, I don't know, it goes back and forth too oddly. But yeah, just do the next action, I guess, is the best thing to pull from this. Just get started. Well, it's like the self-help books. Just be better. That's what they all amount to. Just be a better person. One step at a time, one day at a time. Just be a little bit better than the day before. That's what every self-help book comes to. And but people don't want to believe it. They want to believe that things can come from the outside, but it all comes from inside. And so anyway, well, I'm kind of glad I procrastinated on reading this article for a couple of weeks because it really doesn't say much. But anyway, what do you think? Am I being too harsh? You think this is the best article I've ever written on procrastination? Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you later. Goodbye. Thank you. All right. I need that up. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1.